When I lost my job, it's been about, I think, 2 years now. I was laid off after 20 years of working for the same company. And when it happened, I, I didn't go crazy. I was actually pretty calm because I was ready for a change. Even though I've been at the company 20 years, I mean, it's still a little bit shocking. I got the calendar invite for a Monday morning meeting at 8 a.m. I got that Sunday, and when I saw it on the calendar, I knew immediately that I was going to be late. I'm not waking up that early, but when I joined them, they were like, "Hey, we're letting you go. The company's going in a different direction." And I was like, "Where?" Um, but yeah, I realized when it all happened that I was ready to move on, even though I had been with them for 20 years. It didn't really shake me to my core, not in a scary way. I think it probably did the opposite. It kind of it shook me up in a way that made me loose again and made me ready to actually take some swings. Um, they offered me a severance package, which is always nice. 20 years with a company, I think that's the least that they can do. But given 20 years to something and then them just taking it away like that, it it's a brutal thought. It's to think back on it. You kind of like, I gave 20 years and they dispose of you so quickly, which you understand when you think about it, but when you're in the moment of working there, and most companies they preach we're family, they preach that a lot, and especially now with telling people they must be in the office, we need to gel, and then they'll dispose of you at the drop of a dime. I think it's happening to a lot of people, especially right now, and it's bullshit. Most of us know that, but you can get caught up in it pretty easily because you like the people. There's a lot of fun things that happen there. I met my first fiance, who I didn't marry. I was a young kid. I was like 22, 23. We got engaged. Um, she cheated on me, and that was kind of the end of that. But it was still all these experiences you've had of just like meeting different people. And you see people come and go too. Like my boss, one of my bosses, I saw he got laid off out of nowhere. And then about, I don't know, 10 years later, it happened to me. You always have this gut feeling too. It's coming for you. And I mean, I was right. You just don't know when. So that's why it's better to take chances on yourself, I think, and not be dependent on a company. Even more so now. It's not the old days, right? There's no loyalty. So, I mean, it's hard just to build a business out of nowhere, especially if you're not built for that. Most people aren't, you know? You got to find your way. But when something like getting laid off happens, I think it does wake you up a little bit. And now you're like, oh, you know what? Let me try this. It's a balance between worrying, especially if you have a family, and what you actually want to do. So what happened with me, um, I'm 46. So luckily, I have some money put away. Everybody's not in that situation. I get it. So there are different paths. But when it happened to me, I was already taking some swings. I was doing stand-up comedy. And before we get too far, I've been doing it for 3 years. I am no way great at it. I am no way good at it. But I've done it. I've been able to travel around the nation a little bit and do shows with a headliner. And it's been fun. And it's something I still like to do. So I'm paused now because I have a baby coming in 2 weeks, my first. But a little bit prior to that, I think I knew I needed a change because I started doing stand-up comedy. And I'm not somebody that likes to be in front of people and talk. But the older I get, looking back, it's changed a lot. When I was in middle school, I was paralyzed by fear. My anxiety was insane. Like I couldn't even stand up and go to the bathroom if I needed to during class. I was just too afraid. And then the years go by, boredom goes by. I think that helps push you into interesting territories. And I was like, you know what? Let me take this class. Okay, so I did this class, and when I took it, I would say you don't learn stand up in a classroom. Okay, what this really was more of getting you on stage and giving you some feedback on jokes that you wrote. And you're terrible. Everybody's terrible. It's hard. So you have to learn a lot, but you have to learn by doing. You have to get on stage and take your lumps and get off and edit and do that all over again. So this guy doing on my truck. So, anyways, I did that. I did some stand up, and I still do it, but it was kind of the progression. So when I got laid off, I just took, I don't know, a year or so just for myself, lived off my savings and my severance, and I did stand up, and I was able to travel and do it. And I think taking little steps with things, because I'm not touring right now. I don't know if that will even pan out, but I'm doing little things that you can accumulate over time. And it could be items or it can actually be action. So by having this experience, by being on stage and failing and just running into like bad jokes and just bombing, it gives you a layer, a foundation for me, for example, to do this. I don't think I would ever do that. I feel awkward doing this right now. I just passed a guy while I was talking on this. I feel like an idiot. But it gives you a little bit of foundation of being comfortable with your own voice and figuring out who you are. And it doesn't have to be stand up, it could be anything. Working on a car. You can just start tinkering with electronics. And then 3 years from now, you're like, I'm glad I did that. Now I have a base. Oh, I can start a company or go do a job and tell them, yeah, I know how to do this. I know how electrical current works. So you gotta take swings in life, because you never know where you're gonna end up. You never know where turns are gonna be. Now that I'm older, now that I'm in my 40s, I think you start realizing a lot of this more so. And you hear this. I try not to tell. I have nephews that are in their 20s. I try not to get in their ear too much about this because I remember when I was their age, and older people would say this to me, and it would be in one ear and out the other. Because saying things and doing are two completely different things. Your brain will process one thing doing over hearing in most people's minds. So I think if you're in your 40s, though, midlife, it's easier to look back because you have this experience and kind of understand things. One second. Let me turn this truck off because I've been having some issues. I want to drain my battery. So yeah, I'm in a parking lot right now because right now, here, let me tie this all up. This is my truck. It's beat to hell. You can see the side view is missing, and I do deliveries right now. I do ship deliveries. I do Walmart. I do Uber. I was making six figures at my job when I got laid off, and these past 2 years, I've applied for some jobs here and there. I haven't been aggressive about it because I don't want to be back in an office. I was an operations manager. I don't want to do that again. The trade-off is the money, but for me, the things that happened after I got laid off was a huge turning point in my life. And here's what happened. I got laid off. I was doing stand-up. I started doing more. And my mind was like, let's start dating again. And I did that. And I've been a bachelor for most of my life. And I started, my mindset was like, yeah, we'll date. We'll just have some fun. And, that'll be that. Because that was my normal routine almost for the last, 18 years or so. Well, that didn't happen. What happened was I found the woman of my dreams and I married her. I've been married for 4 months now. And in 2 weeks, I have my first kid coming at 46. Now, this all sounds crazy. It sounds crazy to me. If you would have told me this a few years ago, I would have said, you're crazy. I'm not making a lot of money, but I've never been happier. Do I worry about money? Yeah, I'm always going to worry about money no matter what. But I know one thing in life: when things happen, they always work out. All right. Not 100% of the time. I understand that. Let's keep it real. But the majority of the time, there's nothing that hasn't happened to me where I haven't bounced back from yet. And you add a kid and a wife, and you want to work harder. You want to do more. You want to protect and take care of them. So, if you've been laid off recently, take a swing. I get it. You got to provide for your family. Maybe you don't, but you got to do what you got to do. But even if you find another, let's say, office job or doing what you were doing, take some swings at night. Take some swings on the weekend. It could be from doing a YouTube channel to trying stand-up to doing electrical work. I don't know. That's a weird example, but whatever is has meaning to you. Coaching a T-ball team, helping your community. And it's interesting how you get a lot back from that. Through stand-up, I met a pretty good buddy of mine. I met a headliner that helped me out a lot, and I went and did shows with her. And all these weird connections I never thought I would make. I featured for Tanya Lee Davis. She is 3'3" tall. She's the world's shortest comedian. She's hilarious. Check her out. If you would ask me, if you just said, Dave, in 5 years, are you going to be touring around doing comedy with a little person? Like, what are you talking about, man? But that's exactly what happened. So you never know what's going to happen in life. I know a lot of people are probably going through some of this right now too, because layoffs are happening everywhere. It's a weird time, especially government jobs. The economy is a weird place. AI is coming, but now's your chance. Now's your chance to take advantage of it and take those swings and see what can come of it. Like I said, when it happened to me, I don't know. I felt quiet. I felt like this is right. This is what's supposed to happen. Like, take me down take me lower so I can rise higher. And that's my goal. And I still have so much confidence in that. Not that it's going to be a walk in the park. I got a lot of stuff coming up in my life. My life has completely shifted. I'm married. I have a kid. My car's almost on the way out. All these things, though, are just driving points to do more. And I think a lot of us are going through that right now. So I don't know, advice maybe, I guess. Just take a chance. At least you could say you took a chance. You just never know what's going to come from it. Like, maybe a year from now, I'm doing another video, and I have a bunch of subscribers, right? Things are going good. Or you don't hear from me again. Maybe you end up seeing me on stage somewhere. Maybe none of that happens, but at least I tried. At least I gave it a shot. So when my kid's 20 years old and I'm 87, that math's right? And they ask me, Dad, what did you do in life? What was your favorite part? And my favorite part is just trying something different. I know it can be scary. It's always going to be scary. If it wasn't, it'd be easy. You got to have that feeling in your gut. Got to always have that. So take those chances, man. Like, what do you have to lose? Literally, if you're in your 40s, also, if you're above 40, seriously, man, go do it. But also at the same time, I guess if you're in your 20s, go do it. You probably have your parents. You might be living at home. Man, you're golden. If you're you're in good shape. Now, if you're 40s, you don't have all that, you're tight on money. still, man, take a chance and just see what happens. Otherwise, you're going to regret it. I guarantee you're going to regret it. I don't know. You just got to look back. You got to walk things back and just think about what your life was and look at the past and then look at what the future could be if you just take one little step. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, guys. I don't know how to end this.